Hello and welcome back. This is part 2 of my Uniden Madison restoration project. In part 1 I cleaned it up, inspected things, got it ready for this stage. So here we are today. This radio as it stands is non-operational. There are some issues. I will point out what I have discovered so far. So looking at the front panel here, everything looks fairly okay. Clock is working, meters are operational, LEDs are all functional. But if we look to the front left, there should be a headphone jack, and I do have a 6-position switch. This is controlling frequencies and the MB8719 PLL that is in there. I am not sure if the MB8719 is stock. I'll have to look up. Looking at the meters, they are operational, stock lamps. And from my view here, the lighting is very poor as compared to LEDs. I will be replacing those as well too. You can see I have a signal showing up on my SRF meter on the right. It should be S9, it's not. I do have my signal generator hooked up. So the receive is so-so-ish from what I see so far. Let's take a closer look inside. Inside it's all very nice and clean, looks brand new. Although it is probably close to 30 years old, and of course all the electrolytics will need to be replaced. So I will start with that, and hopefully that will resolve some of the issues I'm having. I will be using my capacitor kit that I do have for sale on eBay, or if you send me an email directly, I'll give you $1 off. Let's take a closer look at the board. You can see that this is the 4111 AD board. This is version 4, the last version of the Madison. Version 3 and 4, my kit works. The earlier versions, 1 and 2, use a different board layout. So all these electrolytics, I'll be removing those. I did notice as well too, I have a couple diodes, D51 and 52 snipped. 52 I believe is for the clarifier, which is unlocked. There's my PLL, 8719. I do have a problem with TX as well too. I don't have any carrier. I did notice that I had my one bias wire was off earlier. I thought that would have been nice if that solved a problem, but it didn't. Over here I have my headphone jack installed on the back. Looking at the power supply section, this heatsink here is for the floating rectifier. Rather strange. You can see that with this major heatsink assembly there actually is the hole, and below it the little ledge where on all the other radios that's where the bridge rectifier sits. But for some reason, in their infinite wisdom, they decided to put it kind of upside down there with its own heatsink. Doesn't seem too cost effective to me. So that in a nutshell kind of outlines what I have ahead of me. I will kind of go through a little bit of the adjustments here, see if that'll give me any more clues as to what problems I have, see how my alignment values come out. And after going through some of those adjustments, I'll have a little bit more information on this radio. I'll start replacing the electrolytics. So I do have my work cut out for me. Let's get started. Well, I went through a quick pass through the receive and transmit alignment procedures, and good news, things are better, but there's need for improvement. So I'll just point out a couple of things here that were noticeably off, and some may be still needing room for improvement. Looking at the bottom of the list here, this is the VCO adjust, and I have TP10 adjust L21. That was down considerably. I adjusted that, and that increased about 100% at least. Moving down, what's next on the list? TP1, okay, adjust for 377650. I was not able to achieve 7650. I actually turned L23 probably 3 complete revolutions, and I was only able to get probably 7620 at best. So that's still down from the setting there of plus or minus 20. But it was a lot lower, so it brought it up. But I couldn't get it any closer to 7650. The best I could do was 7617. So that's a cause for concern yet. Moving down the list. This one here, this is upper sideband. And this is 765. And that was down considerably as well too. I was able to bring that up to 7658. So that's within spec. So that was down considerably as well too. So that's the 3 main things that were noticeably off. One is still off, it's out of spec. One is close, barely within. And LSB, this one here, L22, that one was off as well too. I was able to bring that one in. And I went through the TX as well too, and the bias for the driver and final. Those were off quite a bit, and I actually got the transmit section working okay now too. So that one looks pretty good. I think I just had a connection for the driver bias, the TP7 wasn't making good contact. So things were a lot better, but still need for improvement. So I'm going to start replacing the electrolytic capacitors now and see where that gets me.
Klondike Mikes, Western Canada, top down 148, South Carolina.
148 South Carolina. I've been hearing you for the last half hour here. You're booming in like you're a neighbor from down the street. This is Klondike Mike, Western Canada.
Yeah, okay, we got somebody that there screaming, blowing a whistle, something thinks you're trying to cover somebody up, but it's great to be ignorant, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that's a wonderful thing to be ignorant. Ignorance is bliss, right? But anyway, at the 148, operator John, Juliet Ocean Hotel November in Dodger, South Carolina, back there.
Good to hear you, John. You're doing 5x9 here into Western Canada. John, can you give me an audio report? I would like to know how this is sounding. I was just doing some work on it, and if you can give me an audio report, I would really appreciate it.
One driving. And you got, your radio sounds real good, real good. It sounds real good. I don't have anything wrong with your radio whatsoever. It sounds very, very good. The radio you're talking about, was an old radio like this, 1970 type vintage?
Yes, this is a Uniden Madison. It's, 40 channel, so it's probably, early 80s when it was built.
Yeah, Uniden Madison got the clock, and it's got 8719 chip, and this old one here has got the...
Well, as you can see and hear, this radio is alive. I'm very pleased that I was able to get it operational. So, rather than sit on the video here waiting for my electrolytic capacitor replacement to occur and not get this video out in time, which could be, more than a day, I figure that I will complete part 2 of my video here and have it ready for viewing. So I still plan on replacing all the electrolytics, so I may have a part 3 to this to finish things off. But in the meantime, this is going to be the end of part 2. Thanks for watching.